2-point perspective now and making these forms into objects, spaceships, land speeders actually. So that's what we're going to be doing now in this particular lesson. So this is the drawing that we just previously did. You can see it. It's the same drawing. It's got the cone of vision going on out through here, center line, eye level, and we've got our 2-point rectangular form. So now the chore will be to, I don't think of it as a chore. I think the fun part now is to use our sketching ability and maintaining our integrity with 2-point perspective and actually sketch maybe some cool Star Wars land speeders. So here's what I'm imagining. We're going to do some land speeders and maybe a few other different type of speeders, and we're going to be on the desert Tatooine planet. So that's, if you don't know Star Wars, in that way you can turn it into really anything you want, and that's part of the lesson, is you can do anything you want with these later on. So we get the idea of drawing structurally, and then we can add material on top of that and really say something, I think, powerful about our ability to draw and to do anything we want with forms. Okay, so I'll go ahead and take this first one here in front, and we'll start something hopefully interesting and start to work with this. I'll come down maybe, whoops, go a little bit in. Here we go. Bring that in a little bit. Okay, and so we'll add a layer here. Let's take our layer, and we can start to work on, maybe I won't even work with layers. I could just don't even work with the background. I think it'll be even actually easier and less cumbersome. Okay, so I'm going to go into my brush tool here, and I've got opacity set to about 20%, about a 12 on the nib. Let's see how that's going to work out. Yeah, it seems about right. Okay, I made a couple of marks, and let's jump in through here and see what we can do. So we'll do some freehand sketching, and we'll do some sketching that requires a little vanishing point and maybe a little bit of ruler. But I want it to be, for the most part, very intuitive and fun. So we're going to imagine this land speeder maybe coming towards us a little bit. So I'm going to start to see this in through here coming out further. Okay, this can come out, this can come out. I'm going to try to go fast. You've seen the other videos before. This might come down to the edge, so I'm feeling this through like so. Okay, this comes forward like so a little bit. Pull that up just for now. And we're going to start now bringing this curve around and through here. Okay, and over like so. We'll kind of whip it through. Maybe this goes a little bit longer right in through there. Darken that up a little bit as we come through there. So I can see this curve is a little low, so let's raise it up a little bit like so. It looks pretty good and through there, so we've got that going on. So we're going through, we'll draw through there. You might find the center now. We can bring this center over a little bit, and that's where that curve would actually meet up a little bit more through there. And this could come over in our sketch. We'll bring that center over and through there. Okay, I'll bring this down a little bit, maybe take it slightly in a little bit. No, that way. Wants to fight me. There we go, like so. Okay, always wants to fight me. There we go. All right, so we've got our basic start to one of our land speeders, and we'll start to play around with this a little bit even further. So we can start to take this back. You're about 11 feet in terms of scale. Step back one with that mark there. And so that we can start to see this going back in perspective. And then we can start to add on maybe these engines out and through here, so we can start to sketch on what that might look like. And through here and over, this starts to curl up and over like so. Comes out a little bit, straightens out in through here. So I might start the angle where I want my first engine to be, and it tends to sit nice and high right in through there, so I can feel like, okay, maybe this engine is going to sit nice, sketched out kind of ellipse, 2-point right in through there. Then this can come back, and I just want to feel it going back in perspective, going back in space, maybe to here. And I'm using the convergence lines that I already have as a little bit of a guide too, as well, to keep my perspective as sound as I can, so I can come back in through here and maybe take off this way a little bit, bring this down a little further, my ellipse in through there. And we start to get our first land speeder here in our composition. Keep it nice and clean, but be loose too as well. Right through here. Okay, and through here as well. This might come over. And now we can bring the other engine on the other side, so I might move this over just a little bit down so you can see it. Okay, so we're bringing the other side over and through here in perspective, so this would come in this direction, right? A little bit like there. They curve in just a touch, just a little bit, right in through there. So the feeling of that goes back in space there. So if you want to be really technical, we could take this bottom here, kind of bring this over, bring a nice line in perspective over, help us with height a little bit. So we can bring that through, and I'm just going to kind of guesstimate to where that engine sits, maybe right in through here as it comes back. We can bring this one back, kind of follow a convergence line on through, and you can see where we can set in our engine. So maybe it sits, feels nice and comfortable there a little bit, going back and then setting down. These are kind of like jet engines, contemporary jet engines in some way. Got that through, kind of in the middle there. This can kind of come over, down, curl around like so. This would curl in a little bit to the back. You might see that. This might connect up a little higher and kind of come down through here. Have a little fun with it. Right, so we've got that jet engine in through here. Okay, so we can find the center now. Here's our center coming back. That extends to the end, and we can go out a little bit as it comes back and over. This might come up a little bit, sort of at an angle and through here, kind of down through there. Let me bring this over. Let's see, so we'll bring it over here so we can draw it a little bit. There we go. A little bit easier. So now what I might do is put a little guideline with a convergence line that way, and maybe come up, true vertical now, just to get a feeling for height, and back over. Okay, I can use any of these angles, this angle, any angle to help me out in my quick sketching, just to help guide me where I'm at in perspective there. Excuse me. And so now I can start to find where I want to start to put my jet oval, and the intake part of it in through here, and then the exhaust will come back out in space, and it starts to tip down a little bit, and this one flattens out a little bit more here, and then it goes over, and then it comes back in, kind of like that. So we have this kind of shape and form going on, and then of course we have the intake in through here and over, drawing some ellipses in 2 points, which we'll talk about more in formal perspective. Then this kind of has a hatch, some kind of thing over and through there, just like this one. I think in the movie, Luke's, the one that he has, is missing one of these little hatches over on one of the cover as well. So it has that, so we can kind of come down here, maybe get a little bit more design, just kind of structural things here, and kind of over. This one happens to be in a nice position to our little diagram that we can use to sketch all these out, and you can use more if you want, kind of in through here like so. Didn't mean to do it that way, it just kind of happened that way. Okay, this might curve around a little bit. Okay, so now let's go into the body a little bit further, and now that we're just mostly freehanding, hopefully having a good time with it, and let's start to pull out maybe a little bit of this front. Further this curves a little bit. We can keep that curve, keep our sketchy look in through here. This has got these cool grill things coming over to about right in through here, so we can bring those over, and they kind of move. I'm just feeling my way through the drawing, these kind of grill things that will come over and curve over, kind of like so. And it's got this little design that curves through here. The thing about drawing like this, you know where you're at all times. It's good training to do that, especially when you draw the model. Is where you're at structurally at all times. You know that you're in the left plane or the right plane. In this case, we're on the bottom right plane, right? You know where you're at. You want to know always, if you're drawing representationally, where you're at in respect to your drawing, in respect to your figure. So if I put this little form in through here is roughly my center, this would come out and over, right, and through here. This would come down further, curve over. This would curve over, obviously, and start to come on down the form and on around and around the side like so. And you could take, if you want, you could take your ruler a bit and start to tighten that up a little bit in your sketch. And then of course you have these grilled like things over here. I'll raise this up for myself a little bit here, and then of course these grill things come out of it, and of course these all obey the rules of perspective. So I'm just intuitively feeling going back to the vanishing point, right? And then we're going to curl on around, curl these on around, right? I'm just getting a sketch of it, kind of connect them up a little bit, curl them on around, and then finish up with them, curled around and over as they come on the other side over here, to get that idea of the land speeder, a little bit more detail in through here. All right, so we'll pull down a little bit, use our brush, add our hand tool, we're drawing right through there. Maybe this, bring this over, let it connect up into here and over and down. All right, so let's put maybe a little bit of where they're sitting in through here, so I can say, okay, this is the back. It's kind of an oval, but first thing is I'll sketch out kind of a square, a rectangle to put them in, and that's obviously in perspective. And so they end about right in through here where that compartment is where they're going to be seated, right in through here, and we see a little bit of a dashboard kind of coming across here where their instruments and the wheel that they draw, that they used to drive with, and through here we can have that coming over, little dash, and of course they have a little bit of a windshield that comes out and over. Maybe I'm going to bring mine over, and this starts to run a curve, right? So we get that oval coming through, and then the oval straightens up to there, and then oval's back on over like that. So that's a nice design opening. The designers of Star Wars, these vehicles and their characters were just amazing. All right, so the other side then of the windshield, classic 2-point perspective, right down in through here, and it kind of curls back on over like that. There we go. Okay, so we have that, and then we could put maybe just the indication of a seat back in through here. The great thing about drawing in perspective, you know where you're at, you know where you are. Even if you're doing even more freehand sketching, it's getting pretty freehand now, right? But if we freehanded these forms out, we'd still know where we're at. If we didn't set up formally a horizon line, you get so good at that you don't need anything. But for our purposes, you need to be shown everything so you know how to later on create these without some of maybe the requisite setup. And then sometimes you just have to. You need it if it's so complex or something you want to do that's really giving you trouble and fits. You want to set up more of a system. And there's even even more of a formal system that we can set up later if you follow me into formal, kind of perspective. So I'll put the headrest for Ben and Luke through here, and we've kind of got it there. So that's what we have here now as we're working along, and I think that's going to be good for our first land speeder. So let's pull out a little bit and take a look and see what we have. Let's go through. Here we go. So we got our first one in through here, and we probably go ahead and should put some characters in there just so we can freehand. Or, we see people driving these ships, right? So we should put a little figures, and that gives us some scale too as well. Now we get a little sense of scale. Maybe I'll draw a little darker, go to about maybe about 40, 50 on the opacity. So I'll put a head maybe in through here. So now I know a scale to draw in. So I'll put my first little figure here, coming over, hand in through there, right, coming down, body in through there. Who knows who that is? Okay, there we through there, and then we'll put another figure over through here. Maybe it's going to be a female. Maybe she could have been driving, but you get the idea. Breast forms in there, and then we'll arms and hands coming down and over. Just get the idea there. A little forehead maybe, separation through there. So we get our figures in through there. All right, we're ready to go. So let's go on to now another ship, and we'll just keep on going through. So let's pull out a bit and see what we want to do. So we've got that one. And so now let's do another one on this one here. So here's my hand. You can see, let's do this one here, and it's going to go away from us, so we don't want to be hit by the other land speeder. So, you know, I connected these boxes to the ground, but now we're conceiving them as a little bit, you know, off the ground. So keep that in mind. So they might create a little cast shadow, you know, underneath later on. We could talk maybe a little bit about that. So let's put another one now over here, and I'll take my opacity down a little bit to where it was before, about 20-ish, 21 or so, and then we'll bump this up a little bit so we can see it. Here we go, maybe about right there. Bring it over, and this so we can center it. You can see it better, hopefully. All right, so we got our clear perspective of where we're at. We've got a classic 2-point rectangular cube, and we're looking on top of it. And so now we want to make this ship go the opposite way. So we could start maybe the same way we did here. We can bring this out a little bit further since it is going to curve on us, and it starts to curve in. We can continue with our center right in through there. So I can bring my ruler, and I just might want to consider having that go out even further so I can line this up. And it really starts to curve in through here and come over and makes its apex right towards the end. This would come in, and this would curve over and then curve back all the way over and through here like so. So we have that coming down, and then I can tighten this up a little bit, tighten that up a little bit, and we're on our way. So now we can build our engines in the back, which are fairly distinctive. So building this back from the diagram that we have, we can use this diagram for every single one now that we know what we're drawing. So one of the things about drawing, you can draw out of your head, as long as you know what you're drawing and you have familiarity with it, you can draw it really well out of your head. If not, then you're going to have reference, and then you get to know your model so well, or whatever you want to draw, and then you can just draw it out of your head. But you need to have a frame of reference in mind before you really draw it well. So we'll have that back there. Then there's some kind of control panel, maybe some kind of a power type thing, repulsor lift thing that comes out, whatever these are, back and through these little gadgets. Keep them in perspective, in through here, down and through, and just make them little rectangle things, just to give a little indication that there's something going on there. And these kind of have these cool chromatic slats in through here, kind of like so. Okay, so we have that, and so we're going to kind of come out a little bit. So I'm going to figure out where the back of the engines come through this way and give a little perspective line. I'm just going to follow my convergence lines and angle a little bit in through here, just 2-point perspective. Line up my ruler on the screen so you can see what I'm doing. I'm coming out that way. Okay, and then they curve out just slightly in through here. So they're going to curve out through here before they come over, like so. And they're going to curve out. This one's going to be a little longer than that one, and then back in, like so, in through there. Okay, and so there tends to be a point where they're separate from the base, or the bulk of the ship. So there's a separation that I'm drawing in through here. Okay, we're coming down in through here. And then we want the actual elliptical part of the exhaust of our jet. So I've got this now. Just get a feel for how I want it. Maybe it's going to look like that. Okay, and see, I can bring now with perspective, I can sketch it out, or I can bring a quick line with my ruler all the way across to the other side. And it's going to be a little bit bigger. Why? Because it's in perspective. It's expanding outward from the right vanishing point. Okay, so that gives me the width of it to put it about right here, so I can lay the other one in right like so. Nice and quick and nasty. Maybe not so nasty, but just quick. Alright, so in through here like that, and over here like that. We want to just make them look like they're the same kind of thing. They go back, and now we want to go back in perspective to the left vanishing point. We want to shoot this way, right? We want to shoot this way. Okay, so we have that, and so they get a little bit larger as they come out, actually. So this might feel it kind of like that coming over like so, right? Because you have to look at the both front and the back. And so this I might start out like this, but then I get a little bit wider out here, out through there. So I want to widen that up a little bit and then tighten that up with my ruler right in through there. Widen that in. You can even draw through a little bit so you can kind of see it. And these ellipses could have gone maybe a little bit flatter through here, but they're not too bad. So I'll deal with them pretty good. And through here, sketching it out, keep it loose. Having fun with it, the looser kind of quality on top. So these come in, this connects in through here to here, here to here. And we've got our thrusters, the exhaust, and the intake towards us, or the exhaust close to us, and the intake on the back side we can't see in. Okay, so we have that there and there. Okay, so now let's bring up the back engine. We'll bring it up so it comes up. So if I was just bringing it up vertical, it might fall. The thickness it touches all the way to the back, it might fall right through here. If we bring it up just vertical, that's not going to work because it does kind of angle out. And so I'm going to draw straight lines to give me a feel for it, and then I'm going to start to just sketch with an angle back like so. They might feel like this in perspective, and they might have a height like so in through there. Okay, but maybe not even that. Well, I don't know. They do lean back. They lean back, and there's a kind of a vertical through there. Maybe this leans like that. Maybe I like that. So I'm thinking about how I want this to there, and then maybe like that. That might be okay. Yeah, it's kind of like a fin. All right, kind of like that. So we'll have that to that. All right, in our sketch. And so you get to see me how I'm thinking through things, and I'll bring the engine up. Raises up to about where these two ends, so about right there. It extends out the top a little bit, so we can feel it maybe right here, like so, and it might get a little bit larger as it comes out a little bit. So I'll project back to my vanishing point a little bit here, here, and these will get a little wider, maybe right back and do there like so. So I'll set my ellipse, and then I'll just connect them like so. This width out, it kind of bulges out, and this sort of bulges, curls, bulges back in like so. There we go. Okay, so we have that one laid in through there. So now what we can do is get the arrangements of where the passengers sit, of where they're at. This back can be, I'll curl this a little bit more. I'll curl this, take some of that bite off the square part of it and curl that a little bit. And do there, curl that. on over. Okay, so let's get them seated a little bit. So we've got, remember, we've got, comes in a little bit to the side, maybe here a little bit and over. Maybe we'll dig in just a little bit more and over. So it's got a lot, it's really long in the front. There's a lot of space there. It's an interesting slinky design, very slick. Coming on this side over here, and then probably there. Feels pretty good where it would end, right in through there. Okay, and over there. So we have the first square, and then of course it becomes a little bit of an oval. Here's our center, and we can oval this out. It kind of mimics the front. Oval there, back through, and it comes, this is going to get a little wider. Back and through and over, right in through there. I'm going pretty fast. I want to keep it loose and fast. I don't want to think too much about it. Get too hardcore about it. Make mistakes, and that's okay. We can correct them later on. All right. Like for instance, I would probably push this thruster out a little. I'd probably make this longer. This one I do want to draw over, but I'm not going to erase. I'm just going to draw over it and show you how you can, if you're working in layers, you could change this and draw through that. This one might be better pushed out a little bit, so that means that this ellipse would be right here. Okay. And then we'd push out to the vanishing point here, like so. It'd be out like something like that, and then the big part of the thruster might be over here, way over. And then it gets rounder, then connects back in rounder, and connects over. And then we have the exhaust showing like so. And I feel like that's probably better spacing. See that? That's probably a little bit better, and that happens. Make your mistakes. Don't worry about it. So I'll straighten this out, and then I'll curve it. And you'll get to see how you can correct on the fly. And then later on I can clone that out or erase that out of that space. But I think it's good actually to see me adjust, and you need to adjust when the timing is right for you. And we adjust and we alter our vision all the time and let it. Don't worry about that. So I'm going to bring in a little depth back in through here where we might see that, you know, come down a little bit. So the dashboard might come over and through here, but we might see a little compartment this side where there's the bottom part in through here, and this is a side, right, coming in through. I mean, this is super fast, but you get the idea of coming in through there. And then you might see a split. There's the division could come in through there where the seats would be over and through here, and then the headrests would be enlarged in our perspective here, and then probably over here, most likely, so we can actually see them. Judge, alter, correct. You'll get better at it as you do more perspective, and the structure becomes natural to you as much as that can be, and you'll be able to correct these things, promise you, on the fly. So this is the steering wheel. Over and through here we'll have that. Now I need a little bit of the bubble shield. So the bubble shield would come up and over a little bit, and the other part might cascade up and then over, and then carry on down where this would carry on over, and probably somewhere there this would connect up probably. I say probably. It's a good estimation right in through there. So they're protected in there when they drive. Okay, so let's add figures. I'll bump up the opacity to mid-50s, and we'll put, or what is that, 58. So we'll put a figure in through. So we'll put a head in through here, a little larger. So there's a head in through here. This time we'll make it female. Okay. Got to have that. And then shoulders coming down. And then they might be pretty elongated in through here, hand reaching over to drive a little bit, and then thigh, and then the leg may go down in through there with the thigh, other thigh over in through there. So we have our driver there, right? And then on the other side we have another passenger here. Here's the head here, Darken that in just a little bit. Shoulder coming down. Maybe the arm is up here on the rest. Knee. And then downward in through there. That dashboard might need to come up a little bit, but that's okay. All right, so we're in through here. We're cooking with gas a little bit. And I won't add too many more details to this. I think I want to push on. So it was good. It's good to see me alter a design in my drawing to fit at the better viewpoint. And this might even be a little long. Maybe pull that back a little bit, but it's not too bad. I don't mind it in through here. Okay, so let's push on to another one. And let's see where we're going to put another one. Maybe instead of another land speeder, maybe I could break up the monotony a little bit. And let's see. Even if you're drawing, it's not monotonous, right? Okay, so yeah, you can tell again over here where that just wasn't going to work. And bringing that over, I think, was going to help quite a bit, I think, for the overall composition and design. So I think what I'll do with this cube in through here, I'm going to make that kind of a rocky stand, and I'm going to put a Stormtrooper on there really quickly, and we're going to make it feel like there's some kind of like traffic control, maybe that might be interesting too in our composition. So we'll see what we can do with that. So first thing I want to do then is maybe come back and take a look at maybe exactly where we want to deal with that. Let's see. Let's go back to brush, and then we'll go to opacity about 20. Yeah, that'll be fine. So we'll make this. Maybe we should bump this up a little bit so you can see it a little further, and we'll talk about imaginative scale a little further. All right. So let's turn this into kind of a rocky form. So maybe it comes over, and maybe it's partially hitting the ground so the Stormtrooper can sit on it. So it's kind of, maybe it's got a flat top, but it's got, little sides to it. This is the left plane coming over, and it's kind of rocky. This is kind of a right, in through here, and then it comes back in this way, okay? And maybe this has that there. And so maybe it's some kind of rocky, deserty sort of platform that he can walk up. Maybe it's got some kind of slightly carved out stair things going on, just working, rising up, and then going back to the vanishing point for the stairs, and he tops out through here, and he's going to sit on top of it. Maybe it's got something like, that kind of action working for us. And I'll put some more stuff just coming out in our composition, maybe like that. Okay, and so now we need to put him on top of there. Now he's sitting back further than our characters here in front. And so I'm just going to guesstimate the reference from them. And so what I could do, I could bring them forward in the composition and reference them, but I'm just going to guesstimate my best guess based on their height. I'm going to put a line, I tell you what, on this speeder right here in front, the big one we did earlier. I'm going to put a line close to them where I think their feet are, and I'm going to stand them up and see how high I think they would be if they were standing on top of the hood. If they were erect about right here on the make a mark, I think they would be about that tall. That is my guess. So I think they would be about that tall. Now I'm going to project that, since it's a little higher than my projection on my platform. The platform is higher here with where my Stormtrooper is going to be. I might sort of project that. I know it's going to be smaller. I think that Stormtrooper is going to be about this tall. That's what I'm projecting. That feels like about right for the stairs that I have. I think that's going to be okay. And so I'll put a little trooper now up here. I'll bring the helmet over through here and the shoulders back through here. Okay, and maybe his buttock is coming down. He's got his thing over and through here. And maybe he's like directing traffic or something, who knows. Maybe this is a gun he's holding and watching people come by. So like that. Okay, that gives us a little bit of something in the middle there to break that up a little bit. Okay. So let's pull off here a little, and let's come back and let's take a look at that. Okay, so we're pulling off a little bit. Okay, we're working through. Okay, so let's sketch out some more. Let's put a couple more land speeders over and through. And let's do one here. Okay, bump that up a little bit. We'll put a couple here, and then we'll do something a little different maybe. Okay, so now we're going to have this one go away from us. So it's going to be moving away. I'll take my opacity down a little bit. So we'll have it away. So I'll find our true center right here and here, crossing X. Here's our center back to the vanishing point, right in through there. So I'll curve these out, and there's our true center. Keep on going through, so I might shorten this up a little bit because it already seems a little long. In through here. Okay, we've got that coming over. This would come over. All right, so let's figure out then where we want to put our thrusters along. So I might come out and figure out, here's the back, and almost this tangent to this thruster here. So right in through there is our back. We have that. Okay, we have a little detailed, maybe electric panel. We'll do something maybe a little bit different. It's got some kind of other things going on. Don't know what yet. Okay. This curls along through. This curls through here. Around. There we go. Okay, so now we have our thrusters coming out, and what I'm going to do is find this line, just kind of sketch it out through, add over to it, and then kind of add where I want them to end their thickness in through here. So the one closest to us, the one on the right, should feel a little bit longer and outward towards us. So I'm going to start to play around with this a little bit to there and then over. It's coming out. Okay, that's where the engine then would start to sit. About right in through here, I'm thinking. And back over. This actually gets larger, it comes out, because this is the exhaust. As it gets smaller down, so this actually gets larger this way and over, kind of like that. So they follow perspective, but then they start to adjust on their own, like so. Exhaust running through there. So let's put this over here, and just remember that it's going to be diminished a little bit. It's kind of a triangle right in through there on the other side, right through here, and then way back over in perspective. And we're just intuitively moving back to our vanishing point and through there. Okay, and then I could bring this bottom length over all the way, and I could bring the top one in perspective all the way. Just really quickly put a mark there, and so we've got that. And I kind of know where to start my ellipse, right in through here. Okay, here's our center, right in through. And then we know it gets a little bit larger as it goes away from us. And then right in through, we'll put it on right in through here. Nice and sketchy and loose. Don't get too dark there. Do that coming through. This curls a little bit. That'll curl a little bit later. Okay, let's bring up this through here. Bring up our front. That looks pretty decent, I think. The spacing between the thrusters in perspective, that's important. So we'll bring up our front. Okay, this angles back a little bit. Remember, this goes back to the right vanishing point here and over. Then we have our thruster here, right? So we have that. This goes back, this goes back. It's like putting it in a square. So we have that thruster there. So we have that. Now we need to go back, right, in the space. We'll feel the bottom going back, and we'll feel the top. And remember, that's going to get a little thicker. That coming away from us, actually. Let me get this applied thickness over here. So it could end it here. Feels pretty good, but then of course we got to go. It curls out, bulges out a little bit, and ends off right in through there, it looks like. Okay, pretty good, I think. Right in through there. Okay, so we have that thickness in through here. Okay, so now I'll curl this around a little bit. And then we'll start to put down where our pilots are going to be. In through here and over to about right there. Just laying down a plane in perspective. You can see it right in through there. Okay, here's the center. Dashboard in might be right in through there. This curls. Remember, it's an oval. I got to remember. It's an oval. It's an oval. Kind of squarish in the middle and around. Dashboard, maybe this goes down some and over. This is the center and over here. Seats would be down in through here. The headrests, again, would come over. They'd be the highest right in through here. Okay, so we have that. Let's bring up the shield, the windshield area. I'll put it about right in through here. This might turn, and this is going to curl. Find us all the way over, and then we'll bring our top over to about right here, and then downward. And this would feel about right in through there. Okay, then I'll take my opacity up, and we'll put a quick little pilot here. Well, the passenger, these are British, so they're on the right side. So we have our wheel here, head for our pilots, through here, shoulder, arm maybe coming down and through there. And I think we're good to go on that. We can curl that around. Okay. Finish up a little detail, just enough. Through here, curl it around, curl, curl. All right, okay, so let's step back now outside of this view, and let's go pull back a little bit and see how we're looking. Okay, we got another land speeder there. In perspective set in, so we know where we're at. So we're doing pretty well, I think, with sizing and scaling. So I want to do something now a little bit different on a few more of these. Let's take a look at another maybe kind of speeder and just kind of make something up a little bit and see what happens. What can we do? Let's see. This might be like this one. I'm thinking about this blocky one here. Sorry about that. Kind of spaced out and thinking. Let's pull into it actually. So let's pull into, bring it over and then bring it through and through here. Let's see what happens. Okay, we'll bring it up. Maybe we could do something cool here. Let's make it a more giant speeder because the pilots would be pretty small. So it could be almost even a tanker, but we'll do something still. I may make this one up a little bit further. So this is 12. I'll take it down the nib to 8 or 9 just to take some of that off, and then we'll go to opacity about 25 or so percent. 26, 27 looks good to me. Okay, so let's do a couple of things. Let's find the center. Let's just draw a quick X through here. I'm going to draw the quick X in through here. I'll draw the center in through there just for my reference, so I'll have it. Maybe we'll do something cool with that. I'll draw this through, draw this through. This is the true center. We can go back in perspective here. Here's the true center going back in perspective there, right? So I might make, and I'll bring my opacity up a little bit, I might make this come in and over and down, like so. And turn that through, like this. And I might bring that down. So this is still in, we're in that left plane, so this is coming over like so. It's still a pretty thick line, isn't it? So we'll take this down to 6. Okay, so right in through there, which could work to my advantage. So maybe we'll bring this over and in. Now we're looking at the left side, and this area over here is the back end of it, so just keep that in mind. So I'll bring this down. Bring this down, so I'm winging it a little bit in through here. Okay, and this one might bring this maybe back to here, then over. So I'm just playing with shape. Okay. This goes back in perspective. That goes back. Whoops. That goes back. That goes back. That goes back like that. Okay. And then let's make this maybe curled and up and over. So we'll put a curve to that. Okay, so this might come there like that. And this gets straightened over. And I might bring this over and then curl that. It's just a little bit different than there. Because this might come like this. I'm just making this up. This might come over and be slightly different, and then come back. So it's not quite on our 2-point system, but it's a subform on that. So it's got an auxiliary set of vanishing points, which we'll get to in at a time or two. Okay. All right, so we have that. And so now this is in perspective back. Okay, back like that. This might come out now. So I'm going to mimic this curve on the other side over here. Like so, and in. Okay, like that. All right, and through here. So they may have some kind of little space thing going on through here. And we'll bring this over. Okay, to there. And we'll go straight down and then back in a little bit through there. Okay, got like that. And then we're going to build some funky little metallic things that don't make any sense, but they're just cool for design, I suppose. And maybe this come over. This could come down, 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 maybe. And this, all of a sudden, it gets curled. Here's the center, because we know it's a true center, and these get curled, yeah, right, even further and through here. All right, so these might do something like this. Down. Okay, and then we'll tighten that up a little bit. So it could be maybe a cargo type lift of some sort. Okay, so now we're going to put a hatch over through here, like a window that would come out kind of like that. And so we'd see pilots maybe in through there. And so this, if we contour that, that would look like this. Down and in through there. Okay. So maybe we'll put this on a tractor-like thing. So I'm going to come using my perspective through here and make it a little bit taller. In through here, that's where it would end. And so maybe this would come out a little bit. And these are like tank tractor carrier things. And through here, and this you might see if it came in the other side, we'd come over here, bring it down, and then go back to the vanishing point here. Here's kind of just our sketchy thickness, which is good. And through here, this would come through like so underneath. Okay, but you're with me in a moment. If I'm losing you, hopefully I'll find you. This might not be that angled. It might be. Right through there. And so these are going to be like tank sort of tractor gear things, and we'll do it here a little bit darker now. Over through here. In through here. It gets flatter and then rounder. And flatter. Coming through. So that little whoop, that little mark I'm making, it's going against my ruler as I'm freehand. You're freehand sketching, and then you're using a little edge, to help yourself out. So keep that in mind. It's kind of freehand, but then it's not. So here's my true center, right in through there, right? I keep that down. It would actually go over and in and probably about right in through there. So I could just tangentially, casually make more centers, and I'm just going to start putting, gear wheels that would start to drive these. These would just be ellipses. And through here, and maybe a small wheel. And then another one here, just to show that there's some kind of gearing going on. As we're turning through, just sketch it, quick, loose. There we go. And through here. And then one more maybe. And through there. Alright, it's kind of like a tank, a cargo kind of thing. And so we have a window. Maybe this hatches down. And through here. This is where they would maybe come out. And through here. And we might be here. There might be a little dash kind of operational systems thing in through there. And maybe put a little bit, let's see, let's bring this down just a little bit. And then maybe there's some kind of extra spot at the top that holds something in through here, like it's a trash carrier of garbage or whatever, space stuff, space junk, up and through, maybe in through there. Okay. All right, so let's pull out of it a second and see, so you can see it for a moment. Really quick. It was very quick. And so I've got that machine in the background. So let's pull over in through there. Now, how big would my pilot be? So, all right, so my driver in there. What I might do then is put a couple of characters, like maybe it's a Stormtrooper cargo kind of thing. And so I've got this guy for reference, and his height is 6 feet, let's say. And so I'll just kind of base off. Now, there's a way to reference this later on that I'll show you, and I think that's going to be important even further, more formally. But I think what I'll do is I'll do this. It's like, bear with me for a moment. So let me get down to a nib that's pretty tiny. 1, 2, 3, 4 maybe. That will work. And I'm just gonna project his height from the bottom of our Stormtrooper in the middle, all the way to the left vanishing point. Okay, I'm making a mark all the way to the right vanishing point. Okay, and so it's a light gray line. Now let me go up into blow up into the ship a little bit further, and I'll show you what I'm doing. All right, so I projected a line through here through his top head, and it's hard to see, isn't it? All right, so let me draw that one more time. All right, we got the bottom of his beak pretty good. So let's get the top of his head coming through. Sometimes it doesn't transfer in the screen. There we go. Now we can see it hopefully a little bit better. So I'll pop this up a little bit. So we can follow now. I'm looking at 2 light lines. Okay? And I'm going to make a mark darker, and I'll show you. Let me go up here, 8 or 9, right here. So from in the middle of our ship, about right here to about right there. That would be that Stormtrooper roughly. If he were off the ground, raised up, floating in the air, he would be about that size. So I can bring up this mark over here to about right there to there. I'm putting dots there so you can see it. And we can say that reasonably close that if we go up a little bit further, okay, he might fit in through here. It'd be a little, certainly would look a little smaller. But let's see if we can fit in. So I'm thinking the head would be, if we were driving, this would be maybe a Stormtrooper head about right in through here. Okay, and then the shoulder coming down like so. And maybe coming up if he was driving, he was a pilot, right in through there. So it fits pretty decent in scale to what we have. Now that was a very quick, dirty referencing point. I can do that pretty quickly. If you stick with me through formal perspective, we'll go through that even deeper to get through that. Now I could put some Stormtroopers, once I have his scale, I can put some up here. Maybe they're sitting on top and being like extra guards in through here. So I'll put a couple, maybe just one here, like so. I've got that coming down. Okay, and then shoulder coming down, like so maybe. Breastplate in through here, maybe there, and then maybe the other one's talking to the other one. We'll just put basically just symbols actually at this point in time. And through here, maybe turned away from us a little bit, but you get the idea. There may be one more right in through here. Okay, helmet, air things, shoulders coming down. Maybe that's the rifle. Holding it through, etc. And you get the idea, hopefully. All right, so we have more up through there in our quick sketching method. Okay, so let's go back. Let's pull out. Let's see how we're doing here. Okay, so going pretty well. All right, so I have a few more to fill in. I think what I'll do is I'll do one more, and then I'll cut, and then I'll finish it out, and then we'll come back together and see what we have. Okay, so let's do one more. Let's do one in the air so you get a feel for that. So we're looking from underneath above. So let's do this big one in front. I think that makes perfect sense here. We'll bring it over, bring it a little bit bigger so we can see it. There we go. Okay, so we're cooking with gas there. All right. So we'll go back to my pen, and we're at 31% opacity, maybe a little bit lighter, 25. Go up to a nib about 7, 8, 9. Looks pretty good. All right, so this one's going to come towards us. Okay, so the first thing I want to do is to make that feel. Let's get the front end of our land speeder in. So we're going to find our center really quickly, right there, right here, crossing X. You know how to do that there and there. Here's our true center. Go back to the vanishing point. Get a good feel for it. Coming out all the way out and through here. Look how sketchy that was. And so now I'm going to move this down a little bit so we can see it. There we go. Okay. A little bit better. So you can see that further coming out. I think you're going to need that a little bit further coming out. Okay. So now I'll start to sketch. I'll bring these out. I'll bring these out. That's going to crop off nicely. Crop off nicely in through here. Crop off. So it's still going out. So we've got that front to work with. So we got a little extra to do. So what I'm going to do is tighten this up a little bit. Tighten this up over and through here. Okay. Through here. Tighten this up through right here. Okay. And I'm going to say, okay, there's my true center. Okay, I'm going to end it there. So I'm going to end it, put a dot there, go back to feel my vanishing point out that way. Okay, so now I have a place where if I want to say, okay, that's where it ends, I could bring this down. This is another true center coming out this way in my sketch. Here's where I can start to curve to. Right there. There, I can curve to here, okay? And then curve back around. I'm going right to this point here. So curve a little bit wider and then curve to right into here. All right, so right in through, up a little bit and then through. Let me go a little bit wider. I like to draw a little bit wider to broad. That way I don't have to be as exact and I can correct it easier. Right in through there. There we go. Well, that feels pretty good. A little rounder and through there. Oops. Looser is better. Now we have to go straight up from our ending point about right in through here. Straight up. Okay. And it will not meet without being cropped on the other side. So look at that. Look at the change in that. So that's pretty cool. Pretty dynamic. That's going to be in our composition. So we've got that going on. And so we can bring this down. I'm going to darken this on over. And I'm trying to find in our diagrams if we've got anything underneath here. Let me get back to my diagram where I'm at. Let's see. Power circuit side. I don't see anything underneath. So I'm going to consider it to be very, for the sake of everybody, for us and everybody, we'll consider it to be very smooth underneath and sleek here. So I'm going to curl this just a little bit, smooth that out, outline that a little bit further, but then we'll smooth this over just a bit right in through there. Now we're coming up. Okay, so now we'll find the center going through here of what we had before, there and over. Here's our center back through here. Okay, so we've got that. Now we want to put I always like to put the engines on first. I think that's what's so distinctive is they've got those jet engines for something, you know, pretty damn small. So let's take a look at that here. All right, so now we're going to come out and we're going to come out and up. So this goes back to, watch this. So we'll use this line here. This comes up and we'll line up here. This comes out like so. These help if we could see through it. But I don't have those lines, but that's okay because we'll just quick sketch. So I'll continue these out further. Okay, so we know we're going to get something that looks like this, right? Out and up and over. I like that. Coming up and over, kind of like this, and through, down. So this would attach kind of straight on. Then of course it curves on in and through, curves down and on in and through. So we're kind of looking up underneath it. I'll shade just a little bit of it so you can see it. There we go. Which is pretty fun to draw. Right in through there. All right, so we've got that. This might come up and get a little bit of a thickness to it there. Okay, we're coming out. There we're doing. This might just kind of show you where it attaches right in through there. Okay, so now we've got what can be a difficult problem. Let's put that thruster engine on. So we've got that. So what I'm going to say, it starts in, it gets a little bit jammed in. So I'm going to say, okay, there's a vertical there, true vertical, right? And I'm going to find out where I want its thickness to be. Another true vertical right in through there. I like that. Okay, now how high do I want it to be? Well, I think it's going to be about this high. So that's got to be in perspective here, and then probably maybe right in through there. Okay, now that's going to go behind us, right? So we're looking at the front part. So maybe it's going to hit, if we brought it all the way over, about right in through here. That feels pretty good. So now I can start my oval through here of my engine. This is the intake part. Right in through here. I would assume it's the intake part. It's facing where we're going. So there's kind of a true center there. This is the other minor axis going back in space there. So see how I can just freehand that out? That's in perspective, and this one's straight up and down. So we have that. Then I can put on my intake. This is a smaller one of the two. So we have that going back in space. All right, so now we're good to go. Now watch this. This is where it gets really fun. So from the edges of these two, I'll put little dots so you can see them. From the edge of our intake, right in through here, are basically a similar. Let's go back to the left vanishing point here and here. I love these kind of views where it gets even more extreme. Pretty soon, see how we're almost, and we're kind of getting out of the cone, so it's going to get more and more distorted. That can be so much fun to play around with. All right, so here's the back of the ship right in through here. So the jets go back a little bit further, about right in through here. Here's where we're going to cut them off in perspective. That would go back to the right vanishing point. I'll just feel that. Whoops. And here we have the back end. So the back end is going to get smaller. So I'm going to draw the ellipse here, right? In perspective, it already gets smaller, the illusion of it, but because it's even more, I'll kind of feel the center of it and then say, okay, here's where that exhaust would be, and then here's where they should come out, get a little thinner, then bulge. See how they could bulge? So we got to show that we're true to our form. That's a little funky to get. And then here, and then out, and see how that's a little true? That's true to our form, and then back over and in. I'll put an extra one in here just for the sake of it and make it look kind of cool. So you could take a drawing like this and then tighten it up, put it through another round and put layers on top and go tighter and tighter and tighter, and it would just look super, super duper tight, which is always fun. Okay. If you wanted to. I'm not going to do that. It takes a lot of time. Okay, so we have our first jet engine. Let's pull out and take a look, see what we got here. Cool. I like what we have in terms of perspective. So, looking at this drawing, this is probably, of all the ships, this is the closest one forward to us. It's a little bit, judged between the bottom one and the top one. Look how thicker and taller it is. It's definitely closer to us. So if we did see the pilot, maybe we'd see his head. It'd be a little bit bigger than ones below. So this one would definitely hit us first, but it is coming over us. So it would not. So really, technically, it really can't be a land speeder, can it? Because it's not on land. So I'll tell you what. We'll do something. I'll do something a little bit different with it to make it more than a land speeder. Maybe we'll put some extra jets on it and do something a little bit different. I totally forgot about that, but so what? We can do whatever we want with it because it's our drawing, right? Okay, so here's kind of our center point here. I'm thinking I'll draw it so you'll see it right in through there of that. That is actually not true center. That needs to go out further so it hits there. So this would actually extend out a little bit further, which is fine. It looks like it, so I'm okay with it. Let's put a shell. I want to put a shell over here, curve over here, like this. This might come down. And then I'm going to go down in perspective to the left vanishing point here and there to show you what I'm designing. I have no idea. There we go. And so this might be cut off and through here. This might be a little flap. It comes underneath like so and over. Okay, so let me go in now a little deeper and we'll just start to have some fun with this a little bit further. So it's our land speeder plus a little extra. All right, so maybe it has, we'll feel now the center roughly in through here in perspective up. And so we'll put maybe something like this going back to the right, then back to the left, and then down. Maybe there's another jet that's going to be engine on both sides. So we have an ellipse here, okay, and then over and down in perspective, in through here like so. There's going to be another one. We'll get the other feeling of it. There's going to be another one over here. So we have an intake and an intake, and then an outtake coming in the same kind of way we built the other one, in through here like so. And it would bulge a little bit, so we got that quick sketching. Bulge, come down and below and through there, so we've got that. And then maybe it has a slight kind of wing on it, so this would come out of the right vanishing point and come out like that and come back in at a slightly different angle. And through, and then same thing over. We'd see a wing over there, and this would come back and over and in. There we go. Now we're starting to change it up a little bit. And maybe this has a hull that comes out a little bit further. Maybe it's going to be like that to come in through there. Then we wouldn't see the pilots. Maybe this is going to be glass in through here. Maybe we would. Let's see. Hold on. Hold on. So let's go in through there. And so this would come across and then curve. Yeah, that's okay. And through here and through here. And let's see, let me put some pilots in there for the sake of it. All right, so they'd be a little bit bigger than the bottom ones. So I'll move this through a little bit just to get a reference from them. Go back here, and maybe there's one whose head is about right in through here. So I'll draw through a little bit so you can see it. And through there, so there's a pilot, his head, and maybe a little bit of the shoulder that we can see right there. And that's probably all you would see of that in through there. And maybe the seat would be back over and through. We'd see maybe the back of the seat. So you might see that a little bit coming through. So we took that land speeder, we made it a little bit more of a flying device in through here. So let me jazz it up a little bit further. Maybe come over here and split this out like so, like that, and then over, back to the right vanishing point, over that way. Okay, and down through a little bit. This would come out, this would curl back in. Okay, this might go up. So some kind of little extra device just to give it a little differential between our other forms, and I could take that and get through a little bit of shadow so you see that through really quickly. All right, so there we go. Now let's go ahead and put the next engine on the other side now, since it's not such a land speeder anymore. So, all right, I'll take my opacity down. So I want to bring over this angle of our big jet on the left side over to the right. So I'm going to go from the top and bottom back to the right vanishing point. Okay. I'll bring a line top and bottom here, all the way over, nice and sketchy. I almost pushed my Cintiq off the table. Whew, that would have been crushing. There we go. Right through there. And through there. All right, so the top and bottom of that line coming through. Here we go. Now we can really see it coming across and through there. Now we've got something to work with. So I can kind of feel my way. Let me bump this up a little bit. We'll have to get in there further so you can kind of see it. So bring this through. Bring this through here. There we go. So what I'm looking for now is to put this jet engine over and through here somewhere. So I've got to leave enough space. So I've got to kind of sketch through here to know this is going to come out to maybe there. So that's where that's going to end, and this is where maybe my lips would begin a little bit inside of it. So you gotta think a little bit. And this is the top and through here. So I feel like just in sketching perspective, that's where it would be. Okay. I could formally get all that out, but who wants to go through all that jazz? That's why we learn perspective, and then we start to simple form it, and we have fun, really a lot of fun with it. All right, so I feel like that's pretty good from what I'm looking at. Maybe this goes a little bit smaller in perspective in through here. Now we want to go back to the left vanishing point. We'll push that back down to our LVP here. So I'm lining up my ruler in the Cintiq, trying hard not to jerk it off the screen or push the Cintiq back until it falls off the table here and here. You can kind of see they go through, and so that feels pretty good. So now what I'm going to do, I'm just going to draw the intake here, part we see. Okay, let's do there like so. And then I'll feel the end of the body coming across about right to there of the thruster, right in through there. Remember, it tapers in just a little bit as it curls through, and there it is right through there. Feel like it's pretty good. Now it bulges, of course, so we've got to bulge that. Got to bulge that out. And through there, and then bulge that through. Take it in a little bit more for visual effect. And I think we're there. We've got it. Okay, so I'll darken this line in so we can see the bottom of our flyer through here. It's not a land speeder anymore. All right, we got that. Okay, so let's pull out and see how we did with that. And then I think what we'll do, we'll take a look at this. Okay, so let's pull this in. Okay, pull that over. All right, yeah, it looks pretty good on there. I feel that pretty well. It's going to get foreshortened even further on this right back side. So I feel like that's pretty good as it comes out towards us, because it's really opening up on the left, and then we're getting just about outside of our cone of vision even further. All right, so I think what I'll do now is I'll cut here, and I'm going to finish just about everything out. And that way we'll cut some time off the video. I think you've seen enough, but I do want you to see the finish of it, and then we'll talk about what I did and then what maybe you can possibly do, and then we'll look at your drawings in class. And if it's on YouTube, I'm happy to always look at your drawings anytime. You can certainly email them to me, and when I get a chance to get to them, I would love to see them too as well. Okay, so I'm going to cut here. When we come back, we will then finish out the lesson. Okay, so I'm back, and I'm almost done with my drawing here, just to expedite things. So you can see what I've done. I've added extra forms in the middle here. This is kind of a cargo ship in through here. I finished this out, gave it a little bit more of rendering and a little bit of expression in a sketchy way. Another land speeder over here. And then another ship, a kind of a flying, more cargo ship, passenger ship here behind this bigger one through here, and then I've got this last one over and through here. So let's finish this out, and you can watch me or draw with me if you want, or you can draw the other ones that I did too as well, or you can totally have done your own thing. It's really open in terms of that. So let's get over here and finish this guy out in through here and see what we can do. So it's in the skyplane, so we're going to do something that's more jet oriented. Have to, right? Can't be a land speeder anymore. So all right, so this might be, maybe we'll do something slightly, a little bit differently. Maybe we'll do kind of 3 wings on each side. So I've got a line there. For my center, I'm just guesstimating it to get it right. I would have to be there, and I'm a little bit off, so about right in through there, and then back from my center and kind of over in perspective there. So we have that just to get my bearing straight on my center. So I might split this in 2, I'm thinking, and then getting, let's see, my rulers here, and then getting squared away with what I want to do with jets maybe coming out this way. I could extend this whole body here, so straight up and down, so jets extending out this way and this way a little bit, and also here for the other side of it in through there. So I'm coming back in 2-point this way, feeling that across and over, vertical down. So I just kind of extended the life of that a little bit through here. Now I'm going to split this at the center here, take that down and take this down and over. So these would be boxier kind of constructions in through here and down. Really quick and sketchy, you can keep it very loose. Matter of fact, when you're conceptualizing and drawing, you can always tighten these back up. It's harder to stay loose. I've got a video for that. It's like, hey, I've got an app for that. A really quick one that I did for a high school in North Hardin High School in Kentucky, about loosening up. Their teacher contacted me and they needed something. She was looking for something to help our students loosen up a bit. They get too tight. So keep it loose, even in perspective drawing. Nice structure in through there. This will go back in through there and then down to the right vanishing point running through there to hold that in. Okay, and through there. So we extended that out a little bit. I think like so. And this could come down and in like that. Okay. And then we could put maybe some booster rockets inside there. We'll put maybe 4 in perspective. Really quickly, just ovals, just to show, just to give the feeling of that, right? And through here, like so, and then whoops. Maybe in here, I just draw through that here and here. See, I don't race a whole lot. I did in that one area. We'll go back to that in a moment, where that land speeder I had, where I had to move the engine over. I went back and cloned that through and raced out that a little bit to clean that up a little bit. Okay, so maybe we could do something where this comes up here, nice and vertical. Gonna take my opacity up a little bit, right in through here and up. So we can see that. Try to find my center. I'm feeling like my center right in through here on the bottom. I'll bring that up all the way, so I kind of know where to shoot for, right about in through here, that thickness right there. And so I'm going to shoot this all the way up and down and through like so. And then I might just start to curl this body like this whole thing is an egg form and through here. Right, like that. Okay, so I'll come through that, maybe curve this back over, and or maybe this extends over, nice little points in through and out and up and over. Okay, like that. Okay, and then this might, instead of staying boxy, this might curl and curve a little bit, like so, and underneath, like that. And these might have another cut for a sort of a semi engine in through here, like so. Curling underneath. And I'm going to put more of a point on this, but the true center is here, so I'll project it down to the vanishing point out. So this would come down. If it came out to true center and then up a little bit, probably right there. So let's shoot for that. I don't want to make it too pointy. I'll bring it in just a little bit and through to there. Kind of got that and through there. Okay. All right, so let's see. I'll bring it down a little bit here. Okay. Then I'll put up and through. There we go. Up and through here. We'll bring this out. Okay. Straight. That should be a little bit more angled for perspective's sake. Downward, out, and then I'll start what's going to be some wings coming in through here. Kind of being sloppy with it, but that's okay. It's an extra set. These will come out much further on the right side. And then I'll give a thickness to it, about right here. Okay. And here. There we go. Like so. And then I'll cut them all straight. Cut them all straight. And then I'll curl it into the body about right here. And that's going to curl way back over. That's going to really come up underneath. Something like that. Like, I don't really care where that ends. Just something like that and through there. Then I'm going to put another one down below it. So I can bring, watch this, I'll bring the height here of the length of the wing and up and over here a little bit. And I'll bring another wing underneath. Those will go back to the left finishing point here. All the way through to there. If you hear that noise, that's my scraping across my grooved ruler a little bit with the stylus. So right in through there. All right, and then we see still underneath it, so this one could curl in like so. This one could curl way on in and over like so. And come underneath, maybe the body like that. This one would curl maybe like that and come way underneath like that. So we've got two. Let me bump up the opacity a little bit so we can see that a little bit better here especially. There we go. That's important to get that through there. There we go. And like so. Okay, so I'll tighten these up or darken these up a little bit. Darken these up. Okay. I'm going to make this octagonal a little bit like that, just to play around with the Star Wars kind of look in through there. Okay, I think that's good for that one. Let's pull out and see now what we have. Let's go out. There we go. So just about there. All right, so got everything I needed in my composition. I think what I'll add now to end it is create a few more Stormtroopers by the little pedestal over here to give this guy a little bit of company. And see, here's what I'll do. I'm going to take in my mind, I'm going to take his top of his head to this bottom of his closest foot. Bring that down. It's about the size of this cube, maybe a little bit shorter. And I'm going to bring that size over. So a Stormtrooper, as I'm going to draw another one in through here, about right in through there. There's his head. I'm going to bring his shoulder down right in through here, and he's looking in a little bit, so we'll bring him over. Here's his chest. This is his arms in through here. Maybe he's holding gun this way like so, coming over, and then his middle section and through there. We might disappear in through there and down over, feet and over, and we've got another figure in through there. And then I might put one on the other side over here, and that might be slightly diminished. I'll put one right here. So I'm just eyeballing, referencing. I'm going off everything that I had so far. So maybe this one's looking out towards the left and watching that cargo ship disappear in through here. So we'll put him away from us like so. He's arming through there, and he's holding on to his weapon. And through here and downwards, a little of a leg, right? And there we go. We'll put him down in through there. So we're getting just a sense of an overall kind of a little bit of figures in there too as well with our perspective. I will come back in through here, and I think I'll finish up and kind of wrap up in through here. We'll finish a little bit on this front land speeder and give it a little bit more dimension right in through here. So what we did was we took our 2-point perspective drawing, our illustration, I believe, number 4, and we gave it a sense of purpose, right, by giving these cubic forms a sense of identity, a sense of now locking it into something a little bit more exciting, right, than just drawing cubes. So I'm just going to go over here and give a little bit of side plane rendering. Bring these out maybe a little bit, just especially where it, see how it turns this corner? It curls back. I'm just going to emphasize that maybe down in here a little bit and through here. Have a little bit of fun. Maybe this is a little bit of a shadow that it's creating down and through here. Right where it turns in through there. And I could get all kinds of tightness later, but just for a concept sketch, I think we're doing A-okay through here. All right, using perspective or composition. Okay. Okay, so let me pull out. And I'm curious to see what you did. So if you did one, or if you do drawings like this, to use simple form perspective, 2-point perspective, giving us a nice sense of composition. And again, we stayed relatively in the cone, didn't we? We left and right, we stayed pretty well within the cone, just except for here and also here. And it gave us some nice beginning kind of distortion, which is a lot of fun. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you got something out of it. You can really use this in all of your drawing skill sets going forward from now. All right, I'll see you soon with another lesson in perspective. Okay, take care. Bye-bye.